coming in the scene here. It was I had a little turbulence right there. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Lost control of my seat for a little bit. You know that the seat gets kind of, this thing gets kind of, you know, it's kind of squeaky here. Let me see. Hold on. What worked me? Hold on. Well, it's a little squeaky, but you know, sometimes this damn chair, you know, it's a little wobbly. But sometimes I lose control of it. But anyways. Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Inking with Jay. This is Jay. So today we're going to talk about the refillable pocket brush pens that they have out there. And I have a few that I have with me today that I can show you. And one of my favorite ones that I would say that I use the most, like on the regular, I guess you would say on the regular. But for the most part, I use the Pentel pocket brush pen. I don't know if you can really see that right here, you know. See this right here? Yeah, Pentel pocket brush. I don't know if you can really see that too much, guys. Can you really see that a little bit? Yeah, well, we'll talk about this today, and I have a few more here. The refillable pocket brush pens, and then I have some disposable ones as well that I can show you that I like to use. And I have a little review over this one right here, this pocket brush pen. Well, I think this is like my best one that I have that I like to use. Like I said, it's the one that's the most popular one. But I like it. I mean, it's good. It's a good refillable little pocket brush pen. And like I said, I have the review, and then I have a little demonstration I can show you with these you know, brush pens. So stick around, and we'll get to it. We'll get on the episode, okay? All right, guys. Dude. But anyways, whatever. So, all right, let's go. I like this one very much. It's the and it's the most popular one that's out there now. It's the Pentel pocket brush pen. It's a really good pen. This is an awesome pen. Brush pen, because and the cool thing about this brush is that the actual bristles on it are really, it's got a good tip. And the hairs on it are really really good to use for different varieties of effects with this Pentel pocket brush pen. And the cool thing about this brush pen is the fact that it's refillable. It's actually refillable. That's the cool thing about it. You just screw the back off right here, and the ink is right there. And you can actually buy these. When you buy the actual pen itself, I think it gives you like 2, and then you know you can order these online. These refillables, and it says Pentel on there. Actually, it says Pentel. The refillable little cartridge, and like I said, you can get those online. But this is a really good brush pen. I like it a lot. It works well for what I try to do. And then there's another one that's made by Kuretake. It's it looks just like this one, pretty much the same type of hairs as the Pentel. Let me see if I can kind of, yeah, there we go. Good little light on it. But it's got good bristles. It's got good hairs on there on the brush, and like I said, I think this is a Kuretake. I think this is their version of this right here. This is the most popular one that's out there, and then there's this one as well. Like I said, then and also this one is also it's a refillable. You just get the cartridges. You buy the cartridges, and like I said, when you buy it, it gives you like I think 1 or 2. But yeah, I think this is a Kuretake because it's a Kuretake. It's a Kuretake replacement cartridge right here. And it snaps right in there, and it's got like a little 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 like a pre-hole. It's like a pre-punctured hole that's in this cartridge, and the same like is in that one. And you know when it's in there because you really have to push it on and punch it in, and you'll hear the little snap or the pinch or whatever that you'll hear the sound, or the puncture, whatever the puncture sound, you'll hear it. And like I said, this is a really good pen. It's just like the Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. I like using both of them. I'm actually starting to use this one more lately compared to this one, but this was my first love right here, was this one. It's very popular. Those two pens are really good pens brush pens, because the hairs on those pens are really good quality. This other disposable brush pen, these are not disposable because you can refill these too, but this one right here, it's a disposable brush pen, and I think it's made by Mitsubishi. I know it sounds weird because they make cars, but they actually, this is, I guess, their version of the brush pens that are out there, and it's disposable. But the cool thing about this one is that on one side is the actual brush itself, and this is good. This is a good one too. But the only thing different about this particular disposable pen brush is that the ink is not as strong as these two right here. The ink is good, but it's not as dark and as rich as those two. So as I was saying, the Mitsubishi brush pen, it's a two-sided brush pen, and on one side it has a broad tip. It's not really like a felt tip because it's kind of stiff. This particular tip is kind of stiff, but it does make a good line though. It has that real strong tip, and it doesn't, and I've used this a lot, and it doesn't wear down. So this tip right here is really strong, and it makes for a good line. But the only drawback, like I said, for this particular two-sided brush pen is that it's disposable. You can't refill it, and the ink in it, it's not that strong. It's not that rich compared to these two. And this other type of little brush pen, it's a Sumiiro ThinLine brush pen, but it's very tiny. This brush is like super. Hold on, this brush is like super thin and small compared to the other ones. It's a nice little brush, but the only thing about this pen, it's just like that Mitsubishi pen. The ink quality is not as strong as the other two. These two are my go-tos for brush pens, and like for filling in like big areas. These two on the top right here, they're really good. I like using them, and the quality of these two, it's like, man, they're like neck and neck. Like these are like the best, I think. And then like I said, these two, they're okay, but me personally, I would use these two on top. Those are the best that I think, and for my choice, I think those are the best to use. So if you're looking to buy a brush pen and a reusable one, I would stick with the top two. They're really good. You know, they work really well, and the ink quality is very good. It's strong. It's very strong color, black rich color on those two. These two are a little cheaper because they're disposable. You know, these are like maybe, I don't know, I think $2 each. And these up here, since it is refillable, it is a little bit more expensive. I think the Pocket runs anywhere from like $9 to $10, and this one I think was like $12. But like when you buy it, it gives you two refillables that come in there. So I think it gives you one, and then it gives you an extra one to put in, so it's like two. But you can buy the refills for both of these, but you just got to make sure you buy the specific ink that goes in each one, because you can't put a certain type of ink in there and see if it'll work. I've never tried. I've always used the brand that it comes with to refill it. Like I said, they're a little bit more pricey, but the quality of the bristles for the brush are really good, and the ink quality is very good. So I would recommend the top two brush pens if you're looking to get a pocket brush pen. Okay guys, let's get into that demo on the brushes. You know, refillable Pentel pocket brush and the refillable Kuretake brush. And you know, this one's not refillable, but it's that double-sided Mitsubishi brush. And I'm going to show you, like I said, the tip on the back, the other tip on this one, that sturdy tip. It's a really cool tip. And then the little Sumiiro ThinLine brush. So let me show you the two favorites. These two right here. These are the go-to for me when it comes to using a refillable brush, pocket brush. So I'm gonna start with the Pentel, because it's the one that I got. It's like my first one that I purchased when it came to refillables for the brushes that are out there. And like I said, it's the one that you can, you know, you can unscrew the back, and then you can refill it with another cartridge, you know. So just put this back on here, and let me demo this bad boy for you. I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, that's good. Okay, all right. So like I said, the hairs on this pen, they are amazing. I mean, I say that, you know, they're really good. I mean, for the money you spend on this pen, it's worth it. Like, trust me, it's really worth it. So make some lines here for you guys. And the ink quality in these pens, man, it's good. It's real good, you know. And this pen, you can make the amount of effects you can get out of this pen alone. Like, you can probably ink up your whole work with this. You know, once you practice enough and get really good at it, you can ink up your whole works on this thing. You know, this is a good pen. This is a really good brush pen, you know. And I don't know if the video does it justice, guys, but like when you're practicing with it at home, you can see the quality that it gives you. You see, I mean, the quality that gives you, it's like I said, the video doesn't do it justice, but when you're at home seeing it on the paper, like as you're using it, you're gonna be like, wow, I can see why this pen is what everybody talks about, you know, because this is the one that everyone uses, guys. This is the one that's out there that everyone wants to get, you know. And like I said, it's a brush, so you know, you just practice with it. Just practice, guys. Just practice with the brush, and eventually, you know, you'll get to the point where you feel comfortable using a brush, you know. And see, like, look right here, guys. See, look, this is a good example. I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I messed up right here. Look, let me show you this, because this happens a lot with inkers. This happens a lot. Let me show you. As I see, how as I was making my brush strokes, and then I laid the side of my palm right here on the paper, and as I was coming down, like as I was coming down on the paper, it smeared it. See that, guys? You see that? That right there, that can kind of get you, but there's ways of avoiding this, and I can tell you that the easiest way, guys, to not have this happen to you, because it's happened to me many times as I've been inking, and that right there, let me see if I can get that a little better for you. Yeah, you see that smear right there? It smears it. That smear right there, it's from me putting the pressure down and then coming down on the paper like that and coming back. So what you can do, guys, is you can get another piece of paper, let me get a piece of paper real quick, guys, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had to find some paper, but this is just a paper that I was using, and I was doing some splatter stuff. But check it out, guys. This is the thing. Like, you can get just a regular piece of paper and put it down like this, and then, you know, get your pen or your brush or whatever you're using, and as you're making your lines, so that you don't So like whenever you're inking something, like down here, like say, oh, I'm inking all this area down here of my work, I'm inking all this, boom, 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 boom. You see? And like it builds up of ink, right? And you have to go up here. You can either start from this point and come down, or you can start from down here and go up. But you have to be careful, because when you start from the bottom and go forward, and if, depending on if you're right or left-handed, you can smear your work up. So what I do is I get a piece of paper, I put it down over the area that I inked, and then just rest your hand on that. And then if you need to move with it, you can, and see, it won't smear it. So you can move around, you can put your hand on it, you can move around where you need to move on the paper as you navigate in different areas that you're inking, and you won't smear your area that you just worked on, because that happens a lot. That happens a lot, guys, to inkers. You know, like when you're working and you're like, you have deadlines or whatever, and you're trying to crunch it out, and you forget that, oh, this area was still wet, and you rest your palm on that, like the oils in your hand will smear the inks, and if even if it dried up and you still go over it, it will still smear. But if you have a little sheet of paper, like an extra little sheet of paper, you can just rest that on the area that you just inked up, and just, you can work on another area. So like here's an area, and then you can work over in this area. So like say, like, okay, let me show you, let me explain it better to you guys. Like say you have a panel that's right here, right? I'm sorry, let me come down. I'm sorry, guys. So you have a panel right here, right? And then you have another panel right next to it, like in a comic book, right? And then there's another panel right here, and then there's another panel right here. Okay, depending on how you work this out, how you want to work out your area that you want to ink, because you can start anywhere you feel comfortable. Like in inking in any part of the comic that you want to start first, start it. Start on that part because you feel more comfortable working on that part. So work on that part. You don't have to start in this panel just because it's the first one and start here and then go on and so forth. You don't have to do that. You can, if you want to start right here, start right here. So like say there's a drawing in here of a person, and then you're inking it up, and you're doing all the work, and you're like, okay, I'm inking it, and then you have to color in a heavy piece, and you're like, oh man, I really like this area up here, and I want to ink up here, and you still have this part down here, and it's probably still wet. So get that sheet of paper, rest it on that part of the panel, and then come up here, and work. Or get up more where you want to, like, you don't want to damage anything else that's in these two scenes. Come up here and start inking away, because that's the thing. You don't have to start where you think it's like, oh, okay, it's the first panel, so I'm going to start on that panel. No, you don't have to do that. Wherever you feel comfortable, and you're like, oh, this is an awesome scene, I want to attack this scene, I want to go in here and I want to start working on it. Well, go in there and start working on that scene. Whatever makes you feel good to start your day off, do that part. But just remember that if you're going to ink that side, and then you want to come up here and do something else in this box, in this panel, then get that sheet of paper and cover up that side so that you don't smear up what you've already worked on. Like say you probably spent like an hour and a half in this little panel itself, because you were doing like detail and like little intricate detail in the background and stuff, and it was like heavily detailed right here, and you spent like I said, an hour and a half right here, and it might be still wet, and you don't want to mess up this progress that you've already done. And then there's another cool scene up here that you want to go at. Then, like I said, cover that panel up, or use some masking tape and cover it up, or whatever you want to use. But I prefer to use a piece of paper. A piece of paper if you want, and then cover up that scene, and then start inking on this other side. So that so that you don't damage this panel, because you already put in all that work over here. And see, that's the thing, guys. That's the thing. Like that's stuff that I had to like learn along the way. Nobody told me about that, so I had to learn it along the way. So just be mindful of that, like because whenever you're working on stuff in ink, because ink is it's wet, so it's gonna smear if it hasn't dried yet, and it will smear, guys, because it's happened to me a lot when I'm inking stuff. But I just wanted to give you that little tidbit of information, that little you know, that little tip, you know. So that's the Pentel. That's the Pentel brush, you see. And the Kuretake brush is almost the same like the Pentel. It's almost the same, but it has a little, it's just a little different. And maybe that's just ink wise, or maybe that's just brush wise. But you can see the brush right there. Yeah, the bristles on this thing they're really good too, and the ink quality is amazing. If you ask me, I think it's worth it, guys, if you want to get both of them. But if you just want to start with one, you know, get the Pentel, or you know, if you find out this one works for you, get the Kuretake. Because like I said, right now I've been using the Kuretake more when I've been doing stuff, when I've been doing ink work. I've been using the Kuretake, because like I said, you know, this ink is like, man, this ink is good. You know, it's got good, nice, rich ink, very dark, solid ink. Yeah, it's a good brush pen. Refillable brush pen too. Yeah, it's good. It's a good brush. Yeah, so, you know, like I said, find the one that you like, and then go with that one. I didn't want to show you too much of this one because, of course, it's almost like the Pentel. It's almost like the Pentel. They're almost like neck and neck. Like, these two are almost the same. So I'm not gonna show you too much demonstration on this particular one compared to I did with this one. So I'm gonna show you now the Mitsubishi pen, which I think is pretty cool, even though it's a disposable. This is a cool pen. The brush is okay, guys, but if you ask me, I don't like it as much as the as the Pentel and the Kuretake brush. It's still nice, but it's just I don't know what's up with this brush. I mean, but you can do some cool stuff with it. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know that the camera was gonna move down the paper. You know. There we go. Yeah, see. I mean, you can do some cool stuff with it. You know, I'm not saying don't use it. But you know, my preference, I'm gonna stick with the other two. But okay, so like enough on this one, on this brush side. But I wanted to really show you this side, this little tip over here. This tip, guys, right here. This is a hard tip. This tip is pretty hard, like. But the line you can get out of it, it's nice. I like this side. Like, I don't like the brush, but I like this side of it. You know, that's the crazy thing about whenever you get different tools. There might be something that you don't like about it, but then there could be something that's totally irrelevant. That's not even what you're looking for, and you're like, oh wow, this is cool. Like, I'm gonna use this tool because of this, and you know, that's the reason why I keep this pen. I keep it not just I don't keep it for the brush. I keep it for this side right here. This side of the pen, like this side of this disposable brush gets used more than the actual brush side, you know, and that's the funny thing about some of these tools that I have. Like, I'll keep them just because of that fact, that there's whole nother side of the tool that people wouldn't probably use as much, but I use it for that reason. And it's cool because, like, I can get these lines out of it, you see, and then I can get that thick line, you see, and it's a sturdy tip. Like, this tip I've used for a long time, and it has never wore down. Like, and I want to say I got this thing about over a year and a half ago, and the tip on it, it's still like solid, you know, like a strong, firm tip. And like, I keep this pen for that reason only. For this side right here. Yeah, and it's crazy because Mitsubishi made this pen, and I mean, like I said, it's weird because, you know, I bought it because of the brush. I was like, oh, it's a brush pen. I'm gonna buy this one, not thinking that this is the tip. This is the side that I was gonna fall in love with, compared to the actual brush, you know. But you know, that's how tools go sometimes. You know, you buy something not knowing that it might work a different way for you, and then you use it for that purpose now, and you know, you can make something cool with it. You know, I've done a lot of cool stuff with this side of the pen. It's cool. It's good, man. You know, it's good regardless of, you know, the brush. I still like the other side. So now let's get to the Sumiiro ThinLine little brush. This brush is very, very small. Let me show you. See that, guys? See that? Very small. And I'm gonna compare, you guys. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, because I'm gonna compare so that you can kind of get a you can kind of get a understanding of the size of it. You see, the one on the left side is the Pentel, and the one on the right side, of course, is that Sumiiro ThinLine. And you can see already the size just by looking at it. So let me show you. Let me show you this one. And look, I still have the piece of paper right here. So anyways, let's see. Get right here. Yeah. Yeah, see, on this paper, the ink comes out pretty good on this one. On this little pen right here. I mean, this little brush. And it's a cool brush. I mean, I don't use it a lot, but when I do, you know, I have fun with it. I have fun with this brush. Because the tip is thin. It's like super thin. Super thin, but you can get some cool effects out of it when you use it. Let me zoom in just a little bit, guys. Just a tad. Okay? Is that okay? Oh, wait. Sorry. There we go. So yeah, the different little effects you can get out of this pen compared to the other ones. But I mean, I don't use it all the time, but when I do, you know, I just play around with it and see what I can come up with. But yeah, this is the ThinLine brush right here. Right there, guys. That's a ThinLine. So this right here, this is the demo. I'm gonna zoom back so I can show you all the brush pens. This is the demo for these pens, these brush pens right here. See? And then of course the Pentel and the Kuretake. So like I said, these two I like the most, and then these other two I use, you know. But this one, like I said, it's a cool one. It's a cool one to try out. You should try this one out. And it's not that expensive, I don't think. I think this was like, I want to say like $2 to $3 range for this one. But like I said, I'll have a description below, and I'll let you know the prices on all of them, so that you guys can make your decision on which ones you'd like to buy, or which ones that you find out there, like other tools you might find out there that are good for you that you wouldn't like to use. But these are my suggestions for this particular demo on the refillable brush pens, and then the, you know, disposable brushes, little brush pens right here. So get out there, get you some of these brushes, start practicing with them, and you know, come up with something, guys. Like, you know, draw, you know, practice your lines, draw stuff, ink some stuff up, and have fun. Alright guys, talk to you next time. Thanks for watching the videos. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the little bell for notifications. Leave me the comments down below and let me know what's going on with you guys, alright? Let me know. Give me some feedback here, you know? Give me some of that feedback. And let me know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So get out there, find the tools that work best for you, start to get some stuff up, and be good, and I will talk to you guys later, okay? Have fun. Check it. Okay, well, have fun.